Let's begin with a basic. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone based.
And the killer really is one of...
Of course.
Okay, everyone,
Don't be a goddamn idiot. Why the hell would they—
Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick? What's going on with those pictures?
I'd feel awful if they got left out just because friendship penetrates.
Okay, but there were only 15 of us to begin.
Oh, no reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically. Okay, that about does it for. First up is the case.
I assert that the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono!
Yeah, we know that part already.
And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
I assert that the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono!
Yeah, we know that part already.
And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
Nothing's wrong!
Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember. With the way things had been damaged.
A struggle? Between who and who?
Between Sayaka and the killer.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught?
She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then, she ran to the bathroom to try. The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job.
That much should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene. It shouldn't even need
Sorry.
Okay, so...
Next is the subject of the murder weapon.
Wow.
So what was used to kill her?
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach. Without a doubt, that is the murder weapon!
So the killer used some random knife they had.
No, that's wrong! No. I do think it was a knife, but not just any.
Huh?
After the murder.
Which means that...
Oh, yeah. And if you look real close...
Okay, so the murder weapon was a kid. I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right?
That's right.
Hold on.
Let's draw our conclusions after we've presented.
Well, we can talk all we want. It's not gonna change...
I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if we...
You really believe that?
So I guess there's no question that the kitchen knife was the murder weapon. But where does that get us?
Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right? He did it in secret, when nobody was in the dining hall.
No, that's wrong! Okay, wait. Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
Next, you're gonna say you're not the...
Well, what do you...
Huh?
Remember what you were telling... Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared...
Yeah.
And at any point while you were there...
You don't think so?
No, he definitely...
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall. But in other words, there's no way...
Okay, then what if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together? Idiot swimmer girl? Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask. Each murder is a...
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance.
Then there's no way anyone...
But what if they did?
Good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no... Oops!
Anyway, I didn't go, so I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then...
Hina seems the obvious candidate. After all, she just said...
No way! I swear...
Sure, but can you or anyone else prove that?
I can.
That's right! Sakura was with me the...
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's... Maybe. Right.
but then couldn't either.
Actually, no.
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over. Which means we have
You stayed over? We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms, so I don't.
It is a problem! A boy and a girl spending the night together?
But I'm a girl.
You are? Oh my gosh!
But if it wasn't either of you, then...
Actually, there is.
Oh, yeah, that's true. One other person did.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, because... Sayaka. She's the one who came to the dining hall. And then later...
I got it! Then,
That's the only possibility. And thinking back on it, she was. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink.
The person who took the knife was the victim herself.
I'm sure.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her. In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still...
What?
See? He did do it after all!
No! You're.
So, that's how you would twist the argument. And, you possess a most...
Hold on. It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say? Because you see, if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most... And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's...
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Something was missing from the scene of the crime. That you know what I'm talking about.
That's right! There wasn't a single hair on the floor!
So, the culprit
Yes! Why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room? It wouldn't be unusual at all to find...
The reason that makes sense.
No. If that were the case...
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that...
Wait, then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Then, Makoto is...
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
No. There are other reasons that prove...
I would like to hear these reasons.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first.
Yeah, then they ran after her, got...
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any...
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind.
evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom.
Huh?
The doorknob for my bathroom. See how the top part...
Oh yeah, true.
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up. This is another most bewildering act for the room's own.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room? But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room. She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door, because Sayaka had locked it.
And finally, the culprit had Sayaka cornered.
And to finish the job, they stabbed her with the kitchen knife.
It was you, wasn't it, Makoto? Admit it! We already know the answer.
The incident took place and Sayaka was first she then fled into the...
Then the killer ran after and they got into the bath. At that point,
The killer had to try and bust down the... because Sayaka had locked it.
And finally, the culprit had Sayaka cornered.
To finish the job, they stabbed her with the...
It was you! We already know the answer.
The incident took place in Makoto's room.
Sayaka was first attacked. She then fled into the...
Then the killer ran after and they got into the bath.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door, because Sayaka had locked it.
No, that's wrong! The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the...
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck. Huh? What are you My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true, but you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? That's not lucky at all.
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the...
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the...
I got it! The killer must not have real...
What? Are you saying the culprit?
And yet, he's
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka, which is what led to the misunderstanding about...
Then there would have been a lock on the door.
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
Ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. The killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got...
Regardless, it was a pointless act.
Definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it was...
That is...
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have...
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up!
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well, why don't we just vote right now?
Majority rules? You really...
Yeah, our necks are on the line here.
Someone seriously needs to do
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions?
Oh! As a matter of fact,
Oh,
you don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room?
Yes.
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere.
I don't think so. That's...
Then maybe someone picked the...
Negative! If you remember, Monaco...
Fine. How about this? That they could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Ms. Mize...
No, that can't...
Oh! Trying to argue again? Hello? Why exactly? Shoot!
I got it! Because Sayaka was already scared. Knowing what
if her being...
Huh? Well, what the hell is that?
I know you don't want to consider it. I found a notepad during my search, and these are the words.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do. When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the word. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Huh?
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched...
So, Makoto.
No,
Of course you didn't. Because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka.
But why?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what the...
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
but can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not... Huh? Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then. Pay attention. Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in. So in other words, even if someone did read the note and did what it said, they would not have any connection to what happened.
It certainly would seem that way.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in.
No, it's wrong! The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got...
That's right. The nameplates got switched. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room...
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was...
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other. So switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was...
Right?
Okay, then who did?
I got it! Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew, so the only other person besides...
You can also infer as much from her She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the name.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that...
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened. That's where the answer...
What happened then? Whoever she invited... We figured it out! We know who did it!
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot!
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight.
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at...
Oh yeah. What's the...
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in... It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
Shoot! I got it! All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist. Right there where her wrist is all... It sure is. You barely have to touch that stuff, and there's some on her...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword!
I see.
Alright, then it's about time to solve this mystery. When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack!
And that's what broke Miss Mizono's wrist.
So, she tried to grab the kitchen knife she had hidden away. But then the culprit took that from her too.
And they killed her with it.
And that's exactly what happened.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit, and that's when the first blow. A sword-based sneak attack!
No, that's wrong! Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword. Because the sword's sheath had been scratched. See? There's
something sharp.
Stop jumping ahead! Slow down!
If the sword was used first, if you were going to attack with the sword...
That's true.
Okay, so if they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation, there wouldn't be—
So you're saying the sword was—
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife—
I think I get it! The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere, then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening! So she grabbed the sword to defend herself. Then, after they broke her wrist with the sword, they—
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka—
What? How the hell can you not think—
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of—
I got it! You're talking about her palms, right? The palms of her hands were perfectly clean.
How can you know that just by looking?
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already— It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword, there's really no way she could have picked it up.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped.
Sorry, but—
Why do you say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
No, that's— I got it! According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m. In other words, at nighttime.
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower here yet.
My.
You're no different! You smell like a big fat ugly donkey!
I'm not sure.
Insult off.
So anyway, if Sayaka never— The killer is the only one who used the But hold on. If that's right—
I got it! Sayaka?
But we already said that the attack started with—
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
Then the one who—
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blame.
No, far from it. She took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in. And if it's true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without provocation...
Indeed. These are all the actions.
Which brings up another point. Makoto, Sayaka may be the reason she was so that she could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility.
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
That would also explain why she would switch. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room and by committing the murder there instead of her. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So...
But doesn't, for one thing...
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm sure Sayaka realized this.
Plus, a totally forgettable kid. Or a national superstar.
Wait, then... You're saying she...
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired. She launched her attack with the knife, then found her. That must be when her wrist got broken.
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died.
Just hold on! Because... Hey! You're being super boring, right? Wouldn't it be awful if I had to punish you?
Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did...
Makoto, right now you just need. If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right?
No, it's wrong! There still might be one clue.
Dining, wait, what?
The dying message. She 11037. Written in her own blood. There must.
Well, before we get too far into that, can we really be sure that Sayaka...
I got it! Her left index finger. That could only be because she used that finger to write the message.
I see. She broke her right wrist during the...
Sure. I think we can all agree, Sayaka. What the heck do those numbers mean?
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about...
No, that's not... Yes, I'm a programmer, but I don't see any kind of meaning in these numbers.
Of course. It's because they're not.
Oh! Yeah!
What?
No, it's just... look at the numbers, assuming they're not numbers. Don't these first two, 1-1, look less like two numbers and more like one...
Ah, you're right. The connecting line is barely there. So I assume, looking at it now, you could all...
Whoa! You might have finally just said something worth a shit.
Our little gray cells are...
But even if that really is an N03...
Rotate the image 100...
Oh my god.
Huh?
You just shot past the clue part and right on to who did it.
So, whose name?
Here's my answer. The key to solving this mystery, if you turn the message, it becomes the letter L-E-O-N.
What the hell are you talking? It's just a bunch of random squiggles that happen to look like my name.
No, it's... She wrote that message on the wall behind. In that position, she couldn't move to write normally, and had to write upside down, as it were. And as a result, when you look at it standing in front of her, and try it for yourself if you want. Write something sitting like her, and the letters will be inverted.
That sounds like one hell of a stretch to me. I'm the killer? You can't just go and say...
If you're not the killer, then why did you try...
Huh?
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto?
I got it! You mean the burnt
as the killer stabbed Sayaka, and to dispose of the shirt covered in the victim's blood.
But one piece burned off.
And the killer didn't notice. Isn't that right?
But is one scrap of fabric enough to conclude that...
Yeah, I mean...
That's right! There are plenty of other people here with shirts like mine. With just that one little charred piece, there's no way you can say for sure who it belongs to.
You're right. That alone isn't enough.
But are you finally starting to understand?
Yeah. Shoot! Shoot! I got it! If you look closely at how the shirt was disposed...
Oh yeah, that's... You can't reach the incinerator without opening the gate, and obviously, you wouldn't be able to hit the... You need the key to get in, and the one... So the killer had to be who... The key to the trash room. Whoever was on cleaning duty must have had it, right?
So the only one who could get to the incinerator was the person in charge of the trash.
And you'd have to get close to the incinerator in order to destroy the evidence. Which means the only possible suspect is whoever had the trash room key.
Okay, so the... Huh?
The key to the trash room. Whoever was on cleaning duty.
So the only one, the person who...
And you'd have to get close to the incinerator.
No, that's wrong. Hold on. I think I...
But if you can't get past the gate...
Yes, you could.
What is it, some kind of glass ball?
Actually, it was supposed...
But how...
I got it! The killer simply took aim at the... All they had to do was hit that switch. And through that... Remember what you said before... Hifumi had the key. So it was because the killer was... Once they got in the incinerator going...
Hey, come on!
All you have to do is look at the scene to know that the killer never actually went inside the trash room. The shards of broken glass. If the killer had been on cleaning duty...
Wait, no, just...
But the distance from the gate to the incinerator, the pinpoint accuracy you'd need to throw a glass, could someone really do...
That's right! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Difficult, absolutely. I got it! Because the killer is the ultimate...
Do you have any idea how stupid you sound right now?
A target 30 feet away would surely be little challenge for the ultimate baseball.
I'm not the killer! These goddamn shipper brains have got it all wrong!
You still won't admit it? Makoto, go ahead and review the incident one more time to make his crime perfectly clear. And with that, we can...
Listen to me!
Say what you want, Leon. But now here's what happened. Here's exactly what happened. I think I'd better take one more look back at the case from the beginning. Last night, from what we can tell, she attacked... But then something happened that they grabbed the... During the struggle, and that's when she lost her grip on the kitchen, finding herself cornered. The killer went after her. What they didn't know was that Sayaka knew about. So instead, and stabbed. But with what strength she had to keep the killer from noticing, she wrote it on the wall behind her. And with that, was Sayaka dead? First they took... Then they took the lint roller and they wanted to make sure they got rid... Afterwards, they tried to put the trash... So they came up with... The killer managed to throw any norm, and that's... The crystal ball, which then quickly... Having destroyed, but there was one... Part of the shirt they'd thrown into the... The killer didn't notice this. Isn't that... It would appear that Hiro said you went there to seeing the... Sorry.
Do I hell yes, I object! I mean, all of this is just without evidence!
Well then, Makoto. When the killer removed this instead, the...
Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! It wasn't me! Stupid! You lied! Stop talking! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! Stupid! You lie! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! It wasn't me! Where's your proof?
This should prove it.
The screws on the bathroom doorknob were...
Oh, yeah.
So,
You...
Huh? I didn't have a... Hey!
You